Hey, what's up guys, it's Ruben here, and today I am showcasing my current mech SORC setup. I like to call this build the SCORCHER. I don't claim anything of this build, because you never know who is running a certain build and who isn't. I am just simply showing my current build, which I'm using at the moment. Big shout out to my friend Hexes, definitely go check him out for an awesome Nightblade build video and some insane PvP montages. So what this build does have is some insane burst potential, great sustain, quite easily to obtain gear, and overall just a really fun build, great movability. I really like it. Cons of this build, I mean there aren't a lot of cons. Maybe that you can face shield breakers in battlegrounds, which will be a pain in the ass. But apart from that, it's just a really strong build, which can put out a lot of pressure, and you can keep your sustain up very well. So I hope that video got you a bit hyped up. Honestly, I think it was one of my best videos yet regarding montages. Anyways, we're now going to talk about the boring parts, traits, enchantments, the gear itself, etc. Let's get started. We are currently using 5 Alteration Mastery, 5 Shackle Breaker and 1 Monster Set. You want to use 3 Alteration Mastery jewelry and 2 small pieces. I personally suggest you either pick waist, hands or feet. I myself am using hands and waist. Then you use 1 monster set, which either gives max magicka, increased magicka recovery or increased spell damage. That's totally up to you. I myself went for the max magicka. The remaining armor pieces you want to fill with Shackle Breaker. You want to go for a Shackle Breaker heavy, chest, and medium on the legs. This is very useful for the Undaunted. At the moment I only have 1 out of 2 Undaunted metal, so that's only 3% extra. But when you get 2 out of 2, you will get 6% increased max magicka, health and stamina. As the stars, we also use Shackle Breaker to complete the sets with 5 items with added maximum magicka and maximum stamina. We are using a Destro Flame Staff with the Sharpen trait, and we are using a Restoration Staff with the Defending trait. The enchantments on the armor, you want to go all max magicka. You also want impenetrable on all armor pieces preferably, because you want more crit resistance. It's very, very important in non-CP battlegrounds. On the Alteration Mastery jewelry, we want Arcane, 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 what a surprise. 1 reduced spell cost and 2 spell damage. On the Flame Staff you can either go for disease damage, shock damage, even Oblivion damage is very useful as well. And on the back bar on the Healing Staff, I myself am using a weapon damage enchantment. So I can, for example, place a Haunting Curse, do a light attack with my Healing Staff, swap to my Destro Staff and then nuke the enemy to Narnia. We have 64 attribute points in magicka. We are using the Atronic as a boon. The drink or food we are basically using is Witchmother Spot and Brew. Increase max magicka by 3.2k, max health and magicka recovery. Special things as well, we are currently a vampire. Yes, we are vampire on this one. I would recommend to stay in stage 3, which is just the best, you know. Stage 3 vampirism is recommended. So let's get started with the skills. We're going to start off with the Destruction Staff. On number 1 we have 4 spells. First ability from Destruction Staff. This is kind of your spam ability. Number 2 we have Crystal Fragments. Like every freaking magicka sorcerer we have it. You spam 4 spells when Crystal Fragment is brought you fired. First ability from the Dark Magic line. Number 3 Hardened Ward, our shield, our savior. 4th ability from Daedric Summoning. Number 4 our insane Execute, it's so fucking strong. Storm Calling, first ability Mage's Wrath. Number 5 I have Streak. You can also go for the other morph, Bolt Escape, if you like a more defensive playstyle. I myself like Streak more because I can port over Nightblades which are cloaking. That way stun them, get a Haunting Curse on them again, and then use for example my ultimate, which is in Battleground Soul Assault. Why Soul Assault maybe? Well, the reason we are using Soul Assault is very simple. It's a really cheap ultimate and does a lot of damage. Also in Battleground you will face a lot of 1v1 situations. And even if you don't kill the enemy with Soul Assault, it will drain their resources so much to keep healing or keep blocking the Soul Assault. And it's up in no time again for you. On the back bar on the Destro staff we have on the Resto staff we have a number 1 healing ward. No, fourth ability from the Restoration staff. Number 2 we have Boundless Storm. Storm Calling, second ability. Increase Upcycle and spell resistance by 5.3k. Increase movement speed by 30%. And we also deal 670 shock damage every 1 second for 23 seconds. Number 3, Harness Magicka. Extremely useful against enemy casters. Why? Well, basically on each hit you will restore 991 Magicka. Up to 3 times. So let's just round it around. That's like 3k Magicka, okay? The cost of this is like 3,466, so let's say 3.5k. So if we get the full return, it will only cost us 500 Magicka for a really nice shield against enemy casters, like sorcerers. This is the light armor line. Number 4 we have Power Surge. Storm Calling, 4th ability. Increase a weapon and spell damage by 20% for 33 seconds. While active, dealing a critical strike heals you for 2.5k health. This effect can acquire once every second. So you can get a lot of healing with Power Surge, which is extremely useful if you have your shields up, for example, and you don't want to pop your healing ward yet, or people are directly nuking down your healing ward. Number 5 we have Haunting Curse. Daedalic Summoning, second ability. Even after they change Philosopher's Curse to Haunting Curse, it's still really useful. It still damages the enemy and you even will have a second proc. I really like this, especially on Nightblade, you know, to make sure they will pop up again if they are trying to cloak. Ultimate, I'm currently using Overload. You can also choose to go for the Restoration Ultimate, which is really strong. If you're going for Overload, what you can do, I have on number 5 the Mines. That's the reason I'm having my Overload, just to get some extra abilities. Mines, Lightning Flood, and what you even can do, though in Battlegrounds you barely have the time to do it, I personally think at the moment, is you go Dark Exchange and then for the Stamina to Magicka 1. But I don't see it happening myself so far because I'm just constantly attacking, you know, and I have plenty of regeneration. So we're going to start off with the tower. We have 11 in Sivner to reduce enemy stamina, healing and Magicka recovery. 18 in Warlock to reduce the cost of break free. Very useful because we don't have a lot of stamina as a sorcerer. And 6 in Sprinter. In case you just need to run, you still need to run a little bit in this game. Even with this max SORC, it's just a bit of reduced cost. 60 in Tenacity, increase the Magicka and stamina. Well, very useful return. Arcane is 75, increase Magicka recovery. And Moonkelf 10. Now you're perhaps wondering, why don't you put these 10 points from Moonkelf in Arcanist? If we put 10 points from Moonkelf in Arcanist, we might get like 0.4% extra Magicka recovery. That's barely anything. I prefer to get a little bit like 3% stamina recovery because stamina is still very useful. If you're out of stamina and they are pressuring you, you are dead. I mean, same with Magicka, but you just don't get a lot extra by putting in these 10 extra points. To be honest, anything over 70 points is not really worth it anymore in my opinion, and I have 75 points, yes I know. 2 in Shade, reduce cost of sneak. 5 Shadow Ward, reduce the cost of block. If we are blocking an enemy cast, you know, with the rest to start with full stamina. And 23 in Tumbling, reduce the cost of roll dodge. You still roll dodge now and then. If you full stamina, you can do 1 roll dodge or 1 block. The Apprentice, 10 in Elfborn, increase the damage and healing of your critical strikes. 58 in Elemental Expert, increase Flame, Frost, Shock and magic damage done by 12%. Spell Erosion, increase penetration, very useful. 45 in Staff Expert, 23 in Thaumaturge, 11 in Precise Strikes. 11 in Ironglad, 30 in Spell Shield, increase spell resistance. 30 in Resistant, increase your critical resistance. We already have a lot of critical resistance though, especially with the pieces, and then combined with that we have a lot of resistance, which is by the way really good. 1 in Thick Skinned, 30 in Hardy and 30 in Elemental Defender. 8 in Expert Defender and 70 in Bastion. And that's pretty much it. That should make you good to go. Thank you guys very much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to check this out on the website if you want a typed out version. Link is under the description once it's up. Have a great day. Please let me know what you thought about the video. I personally think the intro, I don't want to brag, like I really don't want to, but I think it was one of my best intros so far. Like, man, I love doing it. Thank you guys so much for everything you have done. Bye bye, see you in Tamriel, I'm out. And if you ever have questions, www.twitch.tv/RubenOfTheOrder or join our Discord underneath the link. Bye bye.